We entered the midway point of our 6-game Tuesday from Antipolo City. And in case you missed our first 2 games earlier, Rizal winning in the 14 under division. Samantala nanalo naman ng Mandaluyong in the 16 under. So this is a virtual best of 3 between these two teams. As we bring you our third offering for today, 18 under action. We're in one team who wants to recover from a recent loss, cross paths with one seeking to start a win streak. As we bring you the action from the country's premier youth basketball league, Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL. We're at our third of 6 games ngayong araw. Later this afternoon, kasama niyo po Davao King Thorns and the Antipolo JY Titans in their own 3-game set. So pwede pa po kayong pumunta dito sa Sports Hub in Antipolo City to join us in the action. Now greeting you a pleasant afternoon mula nga dito sa Antipolo. Jaime Mendera, kasama pa rin si Coach Noy Africa, and yet another morning to afternoon transition. Magandang hapon sa'yo, Mr. Noy Africa.
But a very special day out here in Rizal Provincial Day, as both teams now looking for their second victory. Mandaluyong 1-0 and the Rizal Switch Fiber looking to even out their slate currently at 1-2.
Of course, the result, the pseudo home team in these two matchups, coming off that very tough loss against JT Bulacan Taipan, which we had a chance to cover and talagang dikitan, kaso sa dulo naubusan.
Yeah, and that game went into overtime, and we had a score of 79-74. As in that game, Rizal 42% from the field, a really tough loss, but allowing Bulacan to shoot 50% from the field. They were not able to contain a pricing late by Bulacan in the fourth quarter, and in overtime yielded that 5-point loss in that game. They shot a decent clip from the 3-point area, 9 out of 23, and hopefully they will be able to get hot from the outside. And also hopefully something we have to confirm is if Ladika ND will be available to play for them. But in that game against Bulacan, Sean Vergara finished with 16 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal.
We did see them warming up earlier, so hopefully we do see them suit up for Rizal. Dito naman tayo sa kabila, Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith, the only Junior Microsmith team that secured their victory sa kanilang first assignment. What went well against the Antipolo JY Titans?
They pretty much converted half of their shots, 49% from the field, 32 out of 65. They were able to severely out-rebound Antipolo 49-29, but a cause for concern for them, 0 bench points against 55 for Antipolo, and they're going to need a lot of help. But of course, when you've got a guy like Bon Irvin Daha coming out of nowhere, scoring 32 points and 10 rebounds, you just might not need to really heavily rely on your bench.
Let's get Game 3 going through Kagawad Balong Rosetes with our starting lineups.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sports Hub, Antipolo City. Here we go for the third match of Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL Season 2, ang Liga ng Bawat Batang Pilipino. We're live on the official Facebook page and YouTube channel of Junior MPBL. It's time to shine, and presenting their city, it's 18 under Rizal Switch Fiber versus Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith. Let's meet the starting lineup first from your Rizal Switch Fiber. Point guard number 15, Ezekiel Tagorda. Guard number 9, Aaron Manansala. Center number 14, Rayjan Ladika. Power forward number 78, Jandarmer Baluyot. Forward number 16, Enrico Guiral. The head coach of Rizal Switch Fiber 18 under is Coach Jan A. Necesito. Assistant coach Jesse Cobra Mapanao. And now, it's time to meet the starters of your Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith. Point guard number 13, Justin Alduayan. Center number 15, Oliver Almonte. Power forward number 29, Norbin Bonzaha. Forward number 19, Sean Antaso. Shooting guard number 9, 6, Iris Chua. The head coach of Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith is Coach Mark Herrera. Assistant coach, Coach Yong Katikista, the game's official at this match.
Going through the starters once again for game number 3. Ngayong tanghali, Mandaluyong will begin this game with Justin Elduayan, Iros Chua, Oliver Almonte Jr., Bon Irvin Daha, and Julio Lorenzo Teruel. Samantala for the Rizal Switch Fiber, beginning this game with Yanta Gorda, Aaron Manansala, John Denver Baluyot, Enrico Giral, and Ray John Ladica. Confirmed Coach Noy that Ladica will be playing in this game. Missed his services dun sa laro nga against JT Bulacan Taipan, and what a missing piece he was dahil natalo nga sila in overtime.
And he does average 16 points per game. Of course, we're very familiar with him. Played for their 16 and under squad in the inaugural season and has now stepped up and continues to contribute for Rizal Switch Fiber.
No stranger nga to a junior MPBL, off on his first 3-point try though. Baluyot gives him another opportunity. Jumper 2 strong. Tagorda, short naman para sa kanya. Fourth opportunity para sa Rizal. Ladica says, let's slow it down. Still 8 to shoot. Manansala, inside to Baluyot. Nice pump fake, but erased by Daha. The shot clock does run out. Excellent defense displayed there by the junior Microsmith.
For the junior Microsmith, coming off that victory over Antipolo, you'd want to build on that win. But of course, you'd want to really get your bench involved in this ball game.
Kung yung 16 under team kanina, Coach Noy at least had a point from their bench. Ito na nga mga Mandaluyong really had none.
And a marked improvement for their 16 and under squad with Gamboa coming off the bench, scoring 6 points.
So let's see if somebody from the guys in red will be able to step their game up, provide their first bench points in this season. Tagorda hitting our first basket in this ball game. Immediately answering on the other end was Oliver Almonte Jr.
And Almonte in their first game finished with 21 points and 14 rebounds. So another guy with a double-double for them aside from Bon Daha.
Who needs the bench nga naman, Coach Noy. If you have players that would score 32, that would score 21. As Ladica able to get his first field goal of this game, giving us this pound-for-pound fitness move brought to us by Pound for Pound, the official fitness partner of Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL.
And you like how Ladica, has smoothly transitioned into the 18 and under division. Again, a wing guy playing the wing in the 16 and under, very dominant, both defensively and offensively. Nice to see that he has brought that same game in the 18 and under division.
We can't speak highly enough of these types of players na nagtra-translate talaga yung laro nila, and the ability of these players to understand what needs to be adjusted in their game, if any, moving from 16 to 18. And speaking of adjusting was Daha, getting that whoop and the harm, finishing 32 points in their first win. Take another look at that move. Tough cover. Very difficult assignment for any Switch Fiber player in this game. Knowing na yun nga, he just dropped 32 against Antipolo in their previous assignment.
And what you like about Daha, if you look at him, he's pretty much the big man for the side of Mandaluyong, but he plays like a wing, just like Baluyot, just skying inside for that layup. So that's going to be an interesting matchup, Baluyot and Daha.
Of course, John Denver, Baluyot, able to score coast to coast as Elduayan whistled for that personal.
And you're going to expect a guy like named John Denver to be very comfortable at very high altitudes.
Yes, of course. Manansala now. Goes to Baluyot once again. Can't hit from outside. Looking ahead, this is Chua against two white shirts. Able to manufacture points, but they would keep it on the baseline.
Like the aggressiveness shown there by Chua, but able to make the stop is Manansala.
7-4, early 3-point advantage para sa Rizal. Can't tie it up just yet is Iris Chua. Ahead to Ladica. Another bucket. Rejan Ladica. 5 points so far to his name. Alam na nga natin dito, Coach Noy, maraming utang to dahil nga yung last game ng Rizal, he was absent.
That is true. You're going to expect him to shoot from range. This guy once scored 121 points. For those who haven't heard of him, look him up.
Again, who would need your bench kung 121 points naman yung score ng starter mo? As Atienza will be clipped, heads to the line for a couple for possibly the first bench points of Mandaluyong in season number 2. Still 6:03 remaining in just the first quarter. We spoke at length on the adjustment of Rejan Ladica para dito sa Rizal Switch Fiber. His fellow 16 under star, Axel Mendoza, checking in for the first time in this ball game. Not the smoothest, I would say, or not as smooth as Rejan Ladica's transition, pero we saw, I guess, glimpses of his brilliance, potential brilliance in the 18 under division in their game against Bulacan.
Well, coming in, I think Axel Mendoza will need to have that mindset that he will be more of a role player to begin here in the 18 and under division, but he has the tools to become a major contributor for Coach John Necesito.
Ladica lose the basketball. Running on the other end, Sean Antazo, former Rizal player, short on that three-point try. Wonder how he feels playing his old squad. May ganun ba dito sa Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL, Coach? Revenge game ko to kasi Rizal yung kalaban.
Maybe there's extra motivation, trying to get a victory over your former team, but to call it a revenge game, I don't think there's enough animosity to give it that much drama, Jaime.
Gotta weave a story somehow, right? What if he plays well? Right? Is it because you're facing against your season 1 team? But among several players that have moved from one team to the next, naman yung flavor na dala ng ating Junior MPBL. Elduayan, nice find. Able to finish underneath was Atienza. Atienza scoring on that free throw earlier. This time, another pound-for-pound fitness move brought to us by Pound for Pound, the official fitness partner of your Junior MPBL.
Just in Elduayan, we know he can score, but being able to set up his teammates also something that he needs to work on in their first game finish with 3 assists, and more importantly, they have been able to involve Atienza in the ball game, so that's bench points for Mandaluyong.
Axel Mendoza unable to hit on that turnaround. Under 5 minutes left sa ating first period. Mandaluyong able to trim this lead down to just 1. Atienza once again. His turnaround. Can't get the bounce. Daha against 3. Too strong. Atienza trying to save it. The ball goes back to Rizal. Great hustle though. Coming from the skid, Atienza. John Ken Atienza. Like what he's seeing, that level of activity of this kid.
And that's really the hallmark of the guards of Coach Mark Herrera. They're going to need to be very active, especially on the defensive end.
The first time as well in the ball game. Wasn't also available in the previous game against Bulacan together with Ladica, their second leading scorer. Looking for Atienza once again. Kick out to Daha. Couple of dribbles in. Gets the foul. Able to hit, but will have a chance to earn it from the stripe.
And this guy, Daha, is actually the perfect big for Coach Mark Herrera. Usually, his bigs are in the ball game pretty much just to play defense, grab those rebounds, and score inside. But Daha can pretty much play the wing. He plays like a wing on offense, plays the big on defense. So that versatility will definitely be a key component in the system of Coach Mark Herrera.
I like how you highlighted that it's the system of Coach Mark Herrera and the types of players that he kind of builds his team around. Parang as Daha, as tall as he is, as mobile as he is, as he's called a center, as with any team that Coach Mark Herrera handles, as we see Franco hitting underneath. Talagang yun nga, it's kind of a requirement to have that type of agility in the system that Coach Mark runs. Look at that find, Daha to Atienza, and finishing is Satparam. That prompts Rizal to call for a Nature Spring timeout after leading by an early 7 points. Now trailing by 1, 12-11. Take another look at that play. Wala nang babaan. Satparam gives them a 1-point lead with 3:20 remaining in the first.
Rizal switch fibers. Key player Sean Vergara said that prepared sila for today's game dahil nag-review daw sila ng plays ng kanilang kalaban today, the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith. He said that they respect their opponent as well. He also added that personally he prepared himself both mentally and physically para maging consistent siya from his last game's performance where he scored 16 points. Back to you, Jaime and Coach Noy.
Thank you, CJ, for that report. And talaga naman preparation is key, and they would want to bounce back from that loss in their previous assignment. Able to come up with a steal is Austria.
And like you know, the level of preparation for them to have already studied the plays being run by their opponents. That's the other level of coaching that we're not privy to. You think a coach's job only begins when he steps on the court, when the buzzer starts and the buzzer sounds to end the ball game. It's pretty much a 24/7.
Satparam won't go as Atienza will head to the line for another set of free throws. Awarding himself from the hard work inside. Atienza off the bench. 4 points to go with a couple of rebounds. Let's going back to your point Coach Noy, that we speak a lot about how Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL is a developmental league. And most of the time, we speak about the players developing. But since coaching is indeed a key factor na rin dito, as we look at the beautiful crowd that we have here in the Antipolo Sports Hub, enjoying the action this afternoon. Naman ang gusto natin kaya just give us special shout out to our director, Jethro. Yan. Going back to my point, Coach Noy,
You were lost in your thought right there.
I don't think you could blame me, as Iris Chua still can get his first bucket. Yeah, coaches are also tasked to develop in this type of league.
And it's a great opportunity, of course, with the number of games that we have in the group phase. We have 10 teams in each division, so that's 9 games, and then you've got the playoff. And one of the adjustments for Coach Mark Herrera, he put some of his starters coming off the bench just to increase, the productivity of the bench. One of those guys, this guy, CJ Satparam, in their first game, played 31 minutes, had a double-double, 10 points, 12 rebounds. So by our count, that's already 3 players finished with a double-double in their first game.
I bet you're trying to add it on your mind, Kung paano nila nakuha yung total na yun. And paano ka nga naman na zero sa bench points and still come up with a victory? Some pressure on the backcourt. Go to Daha. Stolen by D. Ladika finds himself all alone. Gets himself a rebound. I think that's what he was trying to do there. Rejan Ladika now has 7 and 3 rebounds.
Making up for lost time, as you said, but not allowing D from getting an assist.
Yun yung nawala naman kay Chris Ganti.
Of course, these two averaging a combined 31 points. That was the amount of points they missed in that game against Bulacan. Ladika averaging 16 and D close to 15.
But he did say Vergara did a yeoman's job in trying to fill those 2 shoes. And almost giving Rizal that victory. Naubusan nga lang sila in overtime. El Duayan to Almonte. Won't go. Tagorda releases it to Franco. Ladica asking for it. Goes to the other side. This is D for 3. Short. Rebound battle. Makukuha ng Mandaluyong. They have the numbers if they run. Chua ahead to Satparam. Finger roll is good.
Too easy for Mandaluyong getting a fast break point. That's now 5 total for them.
Ray John with the ray gun of a shot. Lead down to 1, 16 to 15. Chua, license to shoot. Still can't get that three-pointer going.
0 out of 3 now from the three-point area for Chua.
As the buzzer sounds to signal the end of the first period. Tight ball game we have so far. Just 1 point separating both these teams. Mandaluyong, abante ng isa, 16 to 15. A look at some highlights in our first 10 minutes of action. Rizal started off strong, building on that 5-point advantage behind Rayjan Ladica's offense. But Mandaluyong finally scoring their first bench points of season number 2. Able to stay in it and take this lead heading to the second. Matatapos nga tayo 16 to 15. 1-point lead para sa Mandaluyong. Babalik tayo dito sa Antipolo City Sports Hub for game number 3 of a 6-game slate this Tuesday for Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL Season number 2. Jaime Mendejar kasama pa rin si Coach Noy Africa alongside CJ Ang, bringing you the action live, Facebook and YouTube. We're having a great lunch with you. Thank you for joining us and enjoying youth basketball action in our premier youth basketball league sa Pilipinas. Mandaluyong has this 1-point lead at the end of the first quarter. Players that we did highlight in the pregame, Coach Noy, stepping up and proving us right once again. No? Daha para dito sa Mandaluyong, and of course Ladica was absent in their last game, making up for lost time. One of those players, Daha, adds 2 more to his tally. Daha so far with 6. Empty possession para sa Rizal. Takbo tayo sa kabila. Chua still scoreless. Not for a lack of trying. Kick out to El Duayan. Back to Daha. Attacking the defense of Ladica. His step back too strong. Agorda loses it, but blocked by Baluyot. High altitude once again. Giral goes to Tagorda. Has a 3-on-1. Ladica, a dribble in. Can't finish with the left. Bothered by the defense of Daha.
I like how Daha getting back in transition, able to stop that 3-on-1 opportunity for Rizal.
Jab step, pull up. Kevin Durant-ish, I would say.
Stopping a 3-on-1 fast break on one end and hitting a 3 on the other.
Giral. Turn around. Bit too much mustard. El Duayan goes to Chua. 21 to 15, a 6-point lead para sa Mandaluyong as player goes down hard of that challenge from Giral, holding on to the back of his head. Seems to be okay, just asking for some time to get his breath back. Nice to see him back on his feet, CJ Satparam. Gives us a smile.
Well, he did run into a brick wall that is Giral, but nothing intentional on that play. Giral just trying to make that stop. But you like that pass coming from Iros Chua, looking for that eye-in-the-sky play. Even though he's been struggling from the field, you still like to see him to make the right plays. And in that situation, he made the right pass.
Yan naman ang maasahan mo the player, the quality of players such as Iros Chua to make that right play. Meanwhile, let's head over. Resume action. Rizal switch fiber. Trying to address this press from Mandaluyong. Now trailing by 8, 23 to 15. Baluyot, wayward shot. Can't go. Ladica blocked by Atienza. Inside is Franco for another 2. Franco now has 4.
Franco in their last game, not having the main guys available so far in this tournament, averaging 13 points. He tried to carry the load for Rizal, just not enough.
Ito na nga, punta na tayo kay CJ Ang for her report. Go ahead, CJ.
Thank you, Jaime. As for Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith head coach Mark Herrera, he says that his advice to his key player Bondaha is to take over when he needs to. Huwag mahiyang tumira, and if malas sa opensa, bumawi sa depensa. And as for the team's game plan, unahin ang depensa kasi scorers naman daw ang players nila, and all will follow. Back to you, Jaime and Coach Noy.
Thank you, CJ. And we have yet to mention, Coach Noy, that this Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith team sa 18 under division were the eventual national champions. Not the same team, obviously. The league MVP, Russell Bayani, no longer with the squad. But Bonda, parang hindi naman halos nawala yung production ni Russell Bayani.
And you still do have a guy like Justin Elduayan, and you like the confidence being given by Coach Mark Herrera to Bondaha. You know, if need be, you're allowed to take over. You have the keys to the offense, but you're gonna have to work also on the defensive end. And for a team like Mandaluyong that likes to run, likes to force turnovers, most of their scorers really get their points from their defense.
Speaking of defense, Ladica with another basket. First player in double figures with 11. Immediately answered on the other end by Atienza. What a welcome surprise para sa Mandaluyong. Ginawazay.
Of course, John Ken Atienza playing in his first game for Mandaluyong in the 18 and under division has already contributed 8 points, 8 out of the 12 bench points for Mandaluyong.
Of course, Coach Mark would definitely be happy knowing that he can now rely on that bench, not just his starters. As with their first victory against Antipolo, kanilang unang laro in season number 2, looking to defend their national championship. Ladica will try from outside, way off. Nice challenge there from Mandaluyong.
And still remains to be quote-unquote the weakness in the game of Ladica, that outside shot, still not reliable. Wasn't really a guy that you wanted taking the shots in the 16 and under, and you still see a little bit of a struggle, but this will definitely come in time.
Kung may bibigay ka nga naman tira dito kay Rejan Ladica, I would live with him shooting those 3-pointers. Kesa problemahin mo every time he penetrates, fishing for those fouls, finishing underneath, or even finding his teammates.
And if you're the defense, you wait until he proves you wrong, make you pay for taking those open shots from the outside, as opposed to trying to really guard him, going strong to the paint.
That will put Rejan Ladica on the spot, because every time Coach Noy does some of these types of remarks, that sooner or later,
they string up maybe 2 or 3 in a row.
So hindi naman sa kinikritik kayo ni Coach Noy. It's really more the reverse psychology type. Bigla-bigla kayong uminit. As Daha misses from the corner.
No, I always love to be proved wrong.
Baluyot loses that basketball. Almost a turnover para sa Mandaluyong. Daha brings it down. Attacks 2 defenders. Bit out of control. No worries. Clean-up job executed there by Justin Elduayan.
And ever since that's what you see, like about the game of Justin Elduayan, always in control.
Baluyot can't finish through traffic. Chua will pull up. Short on that 3. So scoreless is Iris. D, his pull up. Can't get the bounce. Franco keeps it alive and finishes.
Franco very comfortable operating inside with that wide body and that physique, but he's more of a wing guy.
Trying to spin his way baseline was Almonte. The foul will be called here against John Denver Baluyot. That would be 3 now on Rizal. Just 1 team foul naman para sa Mandaluyong. 27-21. 6-point lead para sa Mandaluyong with 4:13 remaining on the clock sa ating second quarter. El Duayan also short on that three. Leaking out is Ladica once again. Challenges the defense of El Duayan. Gets the basket to go plus the foul. Yan ang talagang strength nito ni Rejan Ladica.
And right there, El Duayan trying to make that stop, but just too much runway for Ladica, able to finish on that pound for pound foul counted play.
Pound for pound, of course, the official fitness partner of our junior MPBL. Chance to add to his tally with his bonus free throw is Rejan Ladica. Can't get that bonus free throw. Franco gets another offensive rebound, but D will miss on that short stab. Turn it back over. Ladica muli. 15 now para kay Rejan.
You know, deep inside the paint, that much space automatic for Ladica.
Santos hits from outside. Second three-pointer para sa junior Microsmith. 2 out of 9 so far in this game. Badly needed basket dahil nagsisimula na nga mag-ingay itong Rizal switch fiber. As Chris John D gives us that sidestep maneuver. Plus this lead down once again to 3, 30-27. Turnover muli para sa Mandaluyong. Traveling violation this time will be called against Bondaha.
Also, that's first 2 points by Chris John D. He's averaging close to 15 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. And in more than 10 minutes of play, it's only 2 points to show.
Ladica so far ang pinoproblema nitong Mandaluyong. Pag dumagdag pa si Chris Jan. And speaking of problema, a foul on a three-pointer. As Klein Gregorio hits on one of the rarest plays in basketball. A 4-point play. Kakapasok pa lang like a microwave, mainit na kaagad.
And that foul coming on Earl Santos, who is also debuting for Mandaluyong. Hit a 3 earlier, but you're giving up 4 on the other end.
Back-to-back turnovers dito sa Mandaluyong. Really having a difficult time crossing that timeline. Credit the defense of the Rizal switch fiber. We're tied at third. This is a 1-point lead, 31-30. After that 4-point play coming from Klein Gregorio. Timeout nga tayo dito. Rizal switch fiber will give us this Nature Spring timeout. It's 31-30, the Rizal switch fiber. Now taking the driver's seat from the Mandaluyong junior Microsmith. And the excellent performance of Rejan Ladica so far with 15 markers. We've said it repeatedly, he's making up for lost time. Was absent in that loss against JT Bulacan Taipan where they lost in overtime. The team's leading scorer and showing us what they missed. Gregorio can't make it back-to-back threes. Able to hit on that 4-point play kanina. Now able to cross is Mandaluyong. Wide open in the corner. Won't go para kay Antazo. Have another opportunity. Daha muli. Will be clipped by Baluyot. Been a while since we've mentioned Bondaha.
And you like how Bondaha, upon hearing that whistle, getting hit in the shooting arm, still able to, just look for that shot, trying his best to earn a trip to the free throw line.
It's never easy to put that shot up after you've been hit in your shooting arm. I think everyone knows how that feels.
But right now, Daha will be the first player in double digits for Mandaluyong, 11 points and 6 rebounds.
And while we say he already has 11, kung 32 naman skinor mo dun your first game, parang medyo
a disappointment.
Off pa si Bon. Yeah. Lead back to Mandaluyong, 32-31. They go to Mendoza. B for 3. Can't hit. Daha another rebound. Ano naman yung luxury, no? Bondaha with a rebound. Siya na rin nagbababa. Although, got into trouble and leading up to that pass. Able to be contained by Sean Antazo.
And if you're Mandaluyong, you're being given a dose of your own medicine, being forced into turnovers now, 12 turnovers for them, giving up 10 points off turnovers to Rizal.
Sabi ni Sean doon, no? Antazo. Hindi niya naabot eh. Ooh, no look inside. Axel Mendoza gets the bump. Can't finish. Trying to keep it alive as Baluyot. Ball goes back dito to Mandaluyong. El Duayan splits his defenders to Antazo for the finish plus the foul. We're asking for El Duayan to start being that facilitator kasi alam na nga natin may scoring siya. Proving you right this time was Justin El Duayan. Dropping it off right on time. Sean Antazo making up for that turnover kanina. Getting his first 2 of the game against his former squad.
I think eventually for El Duayan, he can make that transition into a point guard with the court vision that he's showing and displaying for us here.
Lead up to 3, 34-31. After Rizal momentarily got the lead from Mandaluyong. The response immediate dito para sa Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith. Trying from outside. Tad too strong, but Baluyot. Yet another second chance point para dito sa Rizal. Second chance point so far at 13 para sa Switch Fiber. Antazo, shuffled his feet. Turns it over back to Rizal. Trailing by just 2, 35-33. Penalty na dito ang Rizal Switch Fiber. Just 42 seconds left in our first half of action. Corner, Vergara, able to hit. Sean Vergara. Balik na naman ang kalamangan dito. Isa para sa Rizal Switch Fiber.
And remember in their last game, Sean Vergara really carried them in the fourth quarter, especially even if they lost against Bulacan. And right now back in his bench role, going to be the spark of the bench for Coach John Necesito.
Ay, bet yung kumpiyansa ng batang to. Bit-bit niya pa from that performance. And speaking of, hawa-hawa na. Vergara with his 3-pointer in the corner. Chris John D starting to heat up as well. His 5th point of this game. Mandaluyong with 7 seconds left in the second will call for a nature spring timeout. Trailing by 4, 39-35. 39-35, 7 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith off this nature springtime out, looking to address this momentum that is clearly shifted to the Rizal squad.
And very important that they call the timeout as they plot an opportunity to keep that score close, as Rizal already with in the penalty.
It's an 8-0 blast. Binitawan dito ng Rizal to end the second quarter, and they will take with them a 4-point lead into the second half of action. Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith. Some things to address. They're being in the driver's seat for most of this half. Matatapos nga ang ating first 2 quarters. 39-35, the Switch Fiber up by 4. About to resume the second half of action mula dito sa Antipolo City Sports Hub for season number 2 of Manny Pacquiao's Junior MPBL. Some highlights in our first 2 quarters. Bondaha picking up where he left off in that Game 1 performance. Leading the way para dito sa Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith. Samantalang sa kabila, Rizal able to end that second quarter with 8-0 run. Balanced attack but led primarily by Rayjon Ladica with 15 so far, leading all scorers. Has been a welcome addition after being absent was Christian D and Rayjon Ladica in their game against Bulacan. Mandaluyong, yun nga, mostly in the lead for majority of that first half, Coach Noy. But that end of the second, gave up that momentum back to Rizal. And bit-bit nga nila yan dito sa heading into the third.
Yeah, they were outscored 24-19 in that quarter, and being given a dose of their own medicine. They've been forced into 14 turnovers, converted into 13 points off turnovers by Rizal. And they've actually made a living from the free throw line, 11 out of 13, talking about Mandaluyong. Only 2 out of 3 for Rizal. Of course, the leading scorers for both teams, Ladica with 15, Franco with 6, D making up for lost time with 5 points. And on the other end, no surprise, Bondaha continuing to lead the way with 11, Atienza with 8, and Satparam with 6. So those 8 points and 6 points coming from Atienza and Satparam has been pretty much the bench points that Coach Mark Herrera has been looking for his boys. As again, in their last game, a win over Antipolo, they had 0 bench points.
And while they've addressed the absence of bench scoring, talking about the Mandaluyong Junior Microsmith, where did you see them struggle in that first half? Nag-give up nila yung kalamangan dito sa Rizal late in that second.
Well, they've been rushing their shots. They're used to playing fast, but Rizal also trying to put the pressure, and they're pretty much playing into the defense being implemented by Rizal. So they're gonna need to be to take care a little better of the basketball and shooting from the field.